While still on the conflict, more than 130,000 Palestinians from various areas of the Gaza Strip have been displaced to the schools belonging to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East. According to an advisor to the agency, as of Friday evening, about 80 schools belonging to the agency had taken in 137,000 displaced Palestinian refugees, and the number is rising in by the hours. He says they are seeking safety in the schools, which provide a place to live, food, water, electricity, healthcare, and psychological support. According to him, a total of 18 facilities of the agency have been damaged in various areas of the Gaza Strip. Well, joining me now live via Zoom for an in-depth analysis of the war in Israel and its relations to Palestine is a global affairs analyst, Olabode Oseni. Thank you for joining us on The World Now.
Thank you very much for having me.
Right, let's begin with how rare it is to hear in a political discourse of a government minister openly vowing to starve a population of food, water, electricity, health care. How justified is this action?
It cannot be justified in any form or shape because these are three main sources of life. And you cannot deny, thank God, that the oxygen that we breathe in and breathe out, the fresh air, is not it's not in control, it's not under control of any government anywhere in the whole world. So if a government or anybody stand up and say, I want to stop you drinking water, I want to stop you using basic amenities, that can only be seen as an act of wickedness, and that is the truth. Yes, if there is war, or then you might say you want to starve, you want to do certain, you want to employ certain techniques or some methods to win a war. But the truth has to be told that this has been the issue all along. Everything that Gaza, Palestine use has always been controlled by Israel. And I must quickly say to the whole world, people listening to my approach, my analysis to this particular issue, I want to try as much as possible, to the best of my ability, to balance my opinion. So I don't want it to be seen like I'm in support, because the whole thing has gone haywire. The whole world, like they are now divided, is now becoming a war of religion. The Christians, some Christians are now supporting Israel, some Muslims are now supporting carefully the Palestinians and so on. So for me, it is wrong for anybody or any government to starve, to create unnecessary hardship for any set of human beings.
Well, it's been about 2 weeks since the armed conflict began. Do you think international diplomacy has been effective and making enough impact at this time, 2 weeks after?
I cannot say so, because when I look at the last 2 weeks, or what has been happening that is can be seen is that the increasingly number of loss of life. We are all witnessing that. We are seeing more and more lives have been terminated, have been killed, children, elderly, and so on and so forth. Again, like I said, I think this is a war that the world needs to be very careful. We need to take it seriously that this cannot go on, because at the end of the day, if you want to look cause and causes of the war, it may be balanced and unbalanced. So, and what concerns me also is the amount of time, the amount of money being spent in killing each other can be used to fund peace. 99.9% of an average Israeli, 99.9% of an average Palestinian will say to you, you want peace. They all want to live in peace. But because of some interest, some people with interest that want to take any little advantage to foster their own interest, they choose to choose the aggressive manner, and that is not helpful to the whole world.
Right. There's no doubt that this situation is fast degenerating. However, it's important for us to know that if this war continues, what is going to be the major impact on both sides? And what message do you think both sides are actually trying to pass across the lines of this battle?
Good. Again, if you look at it, number one thing that it's worrying is the large number of lives that have been lost. That I don't think both sides need both sides need that. But as it is, the other serious effect will be the economic and social and some other things that are going to be seriously affected, that will be affected. Because at the end of the day, like George, before one of the prime minister in Great Britain, Churchill said, all this war, we still need to do job. We cannot continue. There still have to be a time when we need to sit down and talk. Despite no matter what happens, no matter number of lives or whatever, for me, stupidly lost, people will still have to come and sit down. So the earlier all the parties involved, the people that are supporting the Hamas vis-a-vis the Palestinian and people supporting Israel, I think the earlier they call the truce and then make an agreement to sit down and talk, the better for everybody. And we also not forget that one of there's one side that has all the capacity, all the ability to wage war. They have the hardware, they can do, they can undo. And I don't think how much more pounding Israel want to do to the weak side of Palestinians. So these are worrying trends, and I think this needs to be addressed as quickly as possible.
Right. With the number of casualties and at this stage of the war, if you were to find yourself a mediator in this battle, what would be advised to both sides?
Again, we need to stop the killings, because it looks like this now. Both sides are now becoming a killing field. As it is, of course, because a stronger hand may probably devastate the other side more than the weak side. But then again, the number of hundreds of Israelis that have been killed and then thousands of the Palestinians that have been killed cannot be underestimated, cannot be seen as something small. So again, I want to suggest the earlier, because there's no side is going to gain anything. They're going to continue to lose lives. And if the whole argument is about to have a stable, a protected life, why can't they stop now? So I want to call on the world leaders. I want to call on both the latest BRICS and then the NATO, the United Nations and all that kind of organization, groups and so on, to wage in, to come in and say, enough is enough. We need to stop this. This cannot go on. And like I said, at the end of the day, the need to sit down and talk is there. We cannot end this war without talking. So any which way, there's a need to sit down and talk.
Absolutely, Mr. Oseni. Olabode Oseni is a global affairs analyst joining us from London. Thank you so much for joining us on The World Now.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and nice having you again.